the blockchain master university. So in this video, I'm going to give you an introduction to Polygon, which is a blockchain scaling solution for Ethereum, and how you can actually write some code today that interacts with Polygon. So we're going to go over what Polygon is, how it works, why it's important for the blockchain space, and how you can actually write some code for the Polygon ecosystem today, deploy your projects to it, all that type of stuff. Okay. So let's just jump in here. So what is Polygon? So in order to understand what Polygon is, let's first look at what Ethereum is. So Ethereum is a blockchain that lets you write smart contracts that you can put on Ethereum. These are the building blocks of decentralized applications, or dApps. Okay, and one of the complaints about Ethereum right now is it's too slow, it's too expensive for people to use for certain applications, and so we need scaling solutions to help alleviate that problem. There's lots of different ways to attack this scaling solution. You can use layer 2 scaling solutions where you actually create a different environment, on top of Ethereum, where you do some of the transactions and the result gets settled on the main Ethereum chain itself. Or you can use something called a side chain, where you essentially bridge your activity to a new chain. That's what Polygon is over here, from Matic at least. And then you actually move smart contracts from Ethereum to Polygon, or at least you copy them from Ethereum, and you put exact copies of the same smart contracts on Polygon. And then you essentially migrate from one blockchain to another, where you do a lot of the activity, and then you move back and forth. Okay, so that's basically what a sidechain is. That's what Ethereum is. That's how the Matic scaling solution for Polygon, how it works. So let's also clear up a couple things here. Polygon has evolved over time. It started off as Matic, and so Matic is the sidechain scaling solution for Polygon. They started off with Matic and branched out into a variety of different scaling solutions for Ethereum. We can see that they have plans for rollup-based technologies and all that type of stuff. I don't want to get off into the weeds on that. But for now, when I say Polygon and Matic, I'm mostly talking about the same thing. So let's look at some differences here. We can start off with Polygon, the cryptocurrency. All right, you can see that here, Polygon Matic. This is a token that's gained a lot of popularity as the Matic scaling solution has taken off. It's taken off because some really prominent decentralized finance applications or DeFi applications have created copies of themselves onto the Polygon network, like Aave, for example. This is a savings and lending app that we talked about quite a bit on this channel. Started off on Ethereum, still exists on Ethereum, but they have expanded to, I should say, maybe not migrated, expanded to Polygon, so that their users can interact on that type of environment. So we see an entire ecosystem flourishing on top of Polygon, like DEXs. So we have a Uniswap clone called QuickSwap, which is very similar to how Uniswap works on Ethereum. You can do it on Polygon for lower transaction fees compared to Ethereum. So you might ask, why would you use Polygon over Ethereum in the first place? Or the better question is, why would you even use Ethereum at all? Why would you only use Polygon? So that's a good question. So Ethereum, the big thing that it has going for it is that it has a very, very robust security model. Okay, and of course, the Ethereum that we know and use today is Ethereum 1.0. It's being migrated to Ethereum 2.0. And the transaction speeds, the fact that Ethereum is slow, expensive to use, is a consequence of, number one, the fact that it's on Ethereum 1.0 right now, that it hasn't moved to Ethereum 2.0 yet. It'll get faster whenever we do. And number two is it's very decentralized. Okay, so it has lots of nodes. It uses proof of work as its consensus mechanism for mining. And Polygon is a little bit different. So Polygon uses proof of stake, which that's where Ethereum is headed very soon. Polygon has fewer nodes than Ethereum does, so it's less decentralized in this way. So there's some trade-offs. Okay, and so what you'll see, a trend here is basically people doing more activity that requires more security on top of the Ethereum network itself. Okay, so if you're holding very, very large amounts of cryptocurrency, whales essentially doing transactions where they're securing millions and millions and millions of dollars, that might be more appropriate for Ethereum. Whereas if you wanted to do some yield farming or trade tokens on a DEX for $100 or something like that, then it may be more cost effective for you to use something like Polygon and not pay those hefty transaction fees on the Ethereum network. So there's some trade-offs. If you're using a lot of money, you might not care about the fees of Ethereum. You want the security. If you want to move to Polygon and maybe sacrifice some of the security there, but it doesn't matter as much, you're not risking as much money, then you might use something like Polygon. Okay, so that's kind of an overview. So on Ethereum, notice that we have ETH. So anytime you do transactions on the Ethereum network, you pay gas fees in ETH. That's Ethereum or Ether. That's the underlying cryptocurrency of the blockchain itself. On Matic, you use the Matic token. Okay, so when you see this cryptocurrency here, Matic, that's what it is. It's basically like the Ether cryptocurrency to the Ethereum ecosystem is the same thing as the Matic cryptocurrency to the Matic ecosystem. That's the cryptocurrency that's used to pay for gas fees in this particular ecosystem here. Okay, so because Polygon works a lot like Matic, because Polygon works a lot like Ethereum, it also supports ERC20 tokens. So an important thing that I forgot to mention here is that Polygon is it basically works a lot like Ethereum in that's EVM compatible. What does that mean? It stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine. So the Ethereum virtual machine is what Ethereum runs off right now. That supports Solidity smart contracts. So essentially, any Solidity smart contracts that you have on Ethereum can be migrated to Polygon with really no changes. Okay, so that's one reason we've seen this explosion of activity. You can basically take Ethereum-based apps and move them over to Polygon. You just have to connect the two. So the same thing is true for all Ethereum-based tokens. You can take Ethereum-based tokens, ERC20 tokens like DAI, for example, and then migrate them to Polygon, and you can create like Polygon versions of them. So like proof of stake version of DAI. Okay, so the last thing that I want to talk about is if you're going to use Polygon, you have to get over into that ecosystem from Ethereum. So how do you do that? Well, you have to bridge over to that ecosystem. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do in this video. We're actually going to create a bridge app that moves from Ethereum to Polygon. Because if you're on Ethereum right now, and let's say you hold some Ether in your wallet, let's say you hold like 1 ETH, then you need to convert that ETH into Matic tokens. Okay, so you need to convert 1 ETH to like 1 Matic. Okay, so you'll do this with something called a bridge. That's exactly what we're going to do in this video. And same thing, if you want to move your DAI tokens to go swap them on a DEX on top of Polygon, then you need to convert your DAI, let's just say like 10 DAI or 100 DAI, to 100 POS DAI. Okay, so I'm getting kind of messy here, but you get the idea. You have to convert these assets, and you do this with a bridge or a converter, and that's exactly what we're trying to do in this video. So what you'll see is basically all the smart contracts that you can launch on Ethereum, you can launch on Polygon, you can get these benefits of faster transactions, cheaper transactions, but you have to bridge from one thing to another, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do right now. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump into the code for this project. Okay, so there should be a zip file down below where you can download this. Go ahead and open the file in your text editor here. Okay, or sorry, your terminal. The folder, I should say, open the folder in your terminal. And let's go ahead and install the dependencies for the project. So this is npm install. Okay, I've already done this step, but yeah, you'll just wait for it to finish. And then you'll go ahead and open up your text editor, and you can see all the files for the code inside of here. Okay, so we need some essential pieces of information to actually run this. So basically, we're going to run this command line to bridge assets or tokens or cryptocurrencies from Ethereum over to Matic, and then from Matic back to Ethereum. But we need a couple different things before we can do this. Okay, So go back to our diagram that we've been building. We need some of these tokens. So first of all, we need some Ether in our wallet. And I should also stop here and explain that we're going to do this on a test network. Okay, so the good news is we can do this on test blockchains. We don't have to actually risk any real money, and so we can get some of that money for free with something called a faucet. I'll show you how that works in a second. So basically, Ethereum has multiple environments. You have the Ethereum mainnet. So if you have a Ethereum wallet like MetaMask installed, you can see that here. You'll definitely need an account available. So make sure you have MetaMask installed. So you have a wallet. I've created a new wallet here, this Matic demo, and you can see multiple different networks here. Okay. So this Goerli test network is one that we're going to use. This is a test environment for Ethereum applications. This is a blockchain, but it doesn't risk any real money. You can just write applications on it and do whatever you want to, and you won't lose any money. So we're going to use the Goerli test network for the Ethereum side of things, but then we're going to use the Mumbai test network for the Polygon side of things. So we're going from the Ethereum Goerli test network to the Polygon Mumbai test network. All right. So we also need to connect to those. So with Ethereum, instead of having to run your own node, we can just get a link to a node for free with a service like Infura. So Infura is a website where you have an Ethereum node as a service. We're actually going to register for Infura here in a minute. You can create an app and you get an Ethereum node for free. And then with Polygon, we'll use this service here. Let me just pull it up, this one. Actually, I really shouldn't show you my secrets on the screen here, but this is just for demo purposes anyway, so not a big deal. We're going to use this maticvigil.com to get an RPC endpoint or just a node endpoint, a node link for the Mumbai test network for Matic. Okay. So let's step through those steps here. And also, we need some test cryptocurrency. So we need some fake Ether to pay gas fees on Ethereum for the bridge. We need some fake tokens that we're going to transfer back and forth, so like DAI and like a proof of stake version of DAI. And then lastly, we need some test Matic cryptocurrency so that we can run this both ways. So let's actually step to the README here. And this is included inside your project. So once you unzip it, you can see these instructions. You won't have access to the GitHub repository, but you'll have all the code in that zip file down below. So let's look at the purpose of the project. Move dummy ERC20 tokens from the Ethereum Goerli test network, like we just talked about, to Polygon Mumbai test network using proof of stake bridge. You'll need these tokens from your account. So basically, you need a MetaMask wallet installed a minute ago. And first, we're going to open this faucet link right here, faucet.matic.network. Again, a faucet is just a place where you can get free cryptocurrency. It's not worth anything in the real world. It's on the test network. So you want to copy your MetaMask address, right? Copy it, paste it into here, and then we're going to request some proof of stake ERC20 tokens on the Goerli test network again. So click proof of stake ERC20, click submit. All right, so I've already done this step, but you'll submit it, you'll click confirm. And whenever you've done that, you'll see a successful transaction here where you've gotten dummy ERC20 tokens. All right. So next, you can add the dummy ERC20 token to your MetaMask wallet if you want to. You can copy this. Just copy it. Click on the dummy ERC20 token. Copy the address. Click add token. Next, and there you go. You can see your ERC20 tokens in your wallet here. All right, and then, oops, let's see, file. We have a close tab. Then next we can, let's see here. Next we want to actually move these assets between the two bridges. So we're going to see how this works right here. So we're going to look at the different assets. So you can see the different tokens on the Mumbai testnet have different addresses. So you can see the ERC20 token. We're going to move from, basically you can see the parent address here, Goerli, this is the Ethereum version, to the child chain, which is the Mumbai version. So basically we'll be moving from this address to this address. Because again, these tokens are based on smart contracts, and this is the smart contract address on the Ethereum version, and this is the smart contract version on the Matic version. All right. So next we want to do is make sure that we get some test Ether to pay the gas fees. So you can go to this. This is a faucet where you can get some test Ether. You want to paste in your wallet address here. Click request. I've already done this step, so I'm going to skip it, but you'll just do this and wait for it to finish. You should see some Ether in your account balance here. All right. And then the last thing is you need some test Matic tokens. So you can go back to this faucet, which you saw a minute ago. Click on this. And you want to do some Matic tokens, paste in your address, click submit. I've already done the step. You'll click the green confirmation here. When that's done, you'll have some test Matic tokens in your account. All right. And then the last thing we need are two different URLs. A URL for the Ethereum node. That's a URL you get for free. So go to infura.io. If you've done any other tutorials on this program, then it's a lot. But if not, you can just walk through the registration steps for Infura. It's pretty easy to do. Click create a new project. Once you do, you can click on your project here and you'll see different links inside of there that will correspond to your Ethereum node. And the last is the Matic node, which you can get from this link here in the documentation, rpc.maticvigil.com. And you can see mine inside here. You want to sign up via email. Look at your test app, and you'll see an RPC URL link here. Again, it's not really a great idea for me to show you the secrets on the screen, but this is just a tutorial. If you try to use this input, I'll probably delete it later anyway, so it's not a big deal. But now, you should have all the necessary pieces of information you need to do this. So let's set up the app. You've installed the packages already with npm install. The next thing you want to do is actually fill out your env file. So you'll see a .env.example file here with all the code. This is basically the settings for your app, and these are secrets that you don't want to commit to source. So you'll duplicate this file, call it .env. All right, I've already done this, I'm not going to overwrite it. But you'll create a new file called .env. I'm not going to show mine on screen because I actually have my sensitive information inside of here. But you'll create that new file, and you'll have to fill this out. So from Infura, you'll go copy the actual Infura URL for Goerli. You'll see it looks like this, goerli.infura.io version 3. Then you'll have a real API key inside of here. So you'll paste that in here. Next is you'll get the WebSocket URL inside your Infura account for Goerli. It'll look a lot like this. So you'll paste that there. Again, it's inside a .env file, not the .env example. And then lastly, look at that Matic RPC URL from this Matic Vigil website, which you can see here. And you'll paste that inside of here. And last thing is you'll get your private key for your MetaMask account. So I highly recommend that you use this for a test developer account. Don't actually use your real MetaMask account that you use for holding cryptocurrency in the real world, because that's a security risk. So you'll go here, go to account details, export private key, type in your password, you'll see it, you'll copy it, you'll put it back in here. Okay. So once you've done that, you filled out your .env file successfully, all the information, and now we can actually run the project. So we'll go back to the instructions here, and we'll run the code to deposit to Mumbai. So we'll go from Ethereum right here over to Polygon. We'll move some tokens around. So we'll have Ether to pay the gas fees. We have tokens in our wallet. Now we're going to move these tokens from Ethereum over to Polygon. All right. So we just do node, which is just the executable. It says, hey, run a node script. So don't copy the $sign. Run a node script, and then do the deposit.js script, which is here. We'll look at the code here in a second. It's this deposit.js script. Okay, we'll explain here in a second. But we're going to run it and watch it happen. So we'll do node deposit.js. And you can actually see, your account balance here. Let's get a problem. But after we finish this, your account balance will be debited because you're actually transferring projects from the bridge here. So let's just, let me just fix this problem really quickly. Hold on 1 second. All right, so now I fixed that problem. It looks like the issue here is the next step is you need to go to addresses. Okay, copy your MetaMask address. So if you look at this file here, go to exports and click on addresses, and then paste in your MetaMask address here. Okay, you additionally need to do that. So this is like your settings. So we have some different settings saved here, like addresses, helpers. This is what does the conversions for the transfers. We have messages that you're seeing here logged to the screen, like this. Transactions approved, like this. Okay. We also have the providers. So the providers are basically your connection to different blockchains. So we have the Goerli provider. Okay. We have the Mumbai providers. This is for Ethereum Goerli. Mumbai for Matic, and then WebSocket provider for Goerli. All right. We have the API for ERC20 tokens. Okay. And then finally we create a Matic proof of stake client, which you can see here. So let's see about how this actually works in the code. So we ran this deposit.js script. So we import all that stuff that it shows you, like the messages, the settings, the address, the Matic proof of stake client. These are all contained in these different files here. Okay. We import these helper functions that we saw here. We have these bridge functions right here, like check deposit status, okay, check inclusion. All right. And then we do this step by step. We have one main function here, this init function. This is what does the essentially the deposit in deposit.js. So let's just step through it one by one. Basically what it does is we start off with just console log. We say, hey, we're transferring the tokens here. Right, we're getting ready to go. Then next what we do is we set up the transfer. We say we want to send 0.01 tokens, all right, and we convert this to the appropriate amount. All right, we check the balances. So we check your balance. We log to the screen here. You start off with 2 on Goerli, and then 0 on Mumbai. All right. Next we approve it. Because anytime you transfer ERC20 tokens, you have to go through the approval process, which you can see here. All right. And then we log that to the console. And then whenever this finishes, you'll see your Etherscan link pop up here. Okay. And then next, we have to do the deposit. So we've approved it. Now we deposit. We do this deposit function, which you can see is imported up here. So deposit, bridge functions, do deposit here. Okay. Do Matic proof of stake client, deposit ERC20 for user. Okay. And then once that's finished, we open the thing on the page. And then lastly, we check on the deposit status to wait for it to finish. So essentially, we just poll the Matic blockchain. We say, hey, are you actually sending us, has the tokens been deposited, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And when that's finished, it'll actually show you the final result here logged to the console. So you can see it's still checking the deposit. So it's just sitting there. It's just waiting. And when that's finished, you'll see it pop up on your screen. All right, so whenever that's finished, you can see in your MetaMask wallet that your Goerli ETH amount has gone down and that your ERC20 tokens have actually been transferred over to the Matic network. Now, you may have some problems with the script because the polling actually takes some time. So there's some suggestions inside of here. Basically, if it takes a little bit, or if you have some issues, if it takes longer than 5 minutes, there's sometimes issues with polling the free and Fura endpoints. So you can also just retry it if you really want to. Okay. And honestly, this is not a super essential step. You could just pull this out into a separate script and check the deposit here. So next, what you want to do is essentially do the withdrawal. So you can do no deposit, no withdrawal. Oops, sorry, I think I put the wrong thing here. Let's try this. There we go. So you start the burn procedure. So you can see that it actually reflects your, you can see that the funds were successfully deposited because it knows about them here and it's going to put them back. You can see the transaction details here on the Matic Explorer from Mumbai. Okay. And you're going to use this separate script here. So this withdrawal.js, same setup as the other thing. We just do the exact opposite. We do the settings here. We do burn instead of deposit. Okay, so we burn them here. And then we do the transaction. And then we wait and we do the withdrawal. So you can see this in progress. All right, so when that's finished, you'll see all your assets get deposited back onto Ethereum. You can see that reflected in your MetaMask wallet here. So that's an introduction to Polygon and how you can use it, getting started with it as a developer today, how you can bridge assets from Ethereum to Polygon. So you can also deploy any dApp that you've done with Ethereum to Polygon as well. Same type of situation. You take your truffle project, you point it to the Polygon RPC, like we've seen here. You just need some test cryptocurrencies in your wallet, all right? And you can interact just like that. So I hope you like this video. Again, Polygon's a great scaling solution for Ethereum right now. I think you're going to see a lot of these types of things explode. We're going to be doing lots more videos in this program about scaling solutions because they're so hot for Ethereum right now. They serve a really huge purpose. So if you've got any questions, reach out in the Slack chat below. Again, I hope you like this video. And until next time, thanks for watching Blockchain Mastery University.